Hi, my name is David Tsurel, and today I want to talk to you about extracting trivia facts from Wikipedia. So let's talk about our motivation. We look at web search, and web search today isn't what it used to be, where you would enter a query and get back 10 blue links. It's more of an exploratory activity. So for example, if you look for Barack Obama, you'll get alongside the links an info box containing photos and some biographical details and links to social networks and so on. And basically, this is used to improve users' engagement. So our contribution is we want to augment this info box with trivia. What is trivia? It's a fact which is interesting but unimportant, and hopefully will catch the user's attention and engage him more. So we turn to Wikipedia as a natural source for facts, and Wikipedia text could be noisy and hard to extract facts from. So we look at Wikipedia categories. At the bottom of every Wikipedia page, there's a list of categories. So for Barack Obama, we'll have things like African-American lawyers, US presidents, and many more categories. And what we want to do is rank these categories by how trivia-worthy they are, and hopefully the top-ranked category will be a good trivia fact. The challenge is to formalize what it means to be trivia-worthy. And let's see why this is a problem. The problem is that not all facts are trivia facts. So for example, Barack Obama was a US president. That's a true fact, but it's not very interesting because everyone already knows it. Barack Obama was born in 1961. That's also not a good trivia fact because you may not know the exact year, but it's still not a very interesting fact. But the fact that Obama won a Grammy Award, now that's something interesting which will engage the user. So we're looking at interesting facts. So let's start formulating what it means to be trivia-worthy. So the first property we think of is surprise. As we saw Grammy Awards, so it's surprising that Obama won a Grammy Award. So when is an article surprising in a given category? It's surprising when it's not similar to other articles in the same category. So surprise will be the inverse of similarity. So what is similarity? We assume we have some building block of similarity between two articles. I don't have time to go into the details, but broadly speaking, we look at word2vec and look for semantic similarity between the two Wikipedia articles. So the similarity between an article and a category will simply be the average similarity between our given article and the rest of the articles in that category. So let's look, for example, at the most surprising categories for 1940s movie actress Hedy Lamarr. So at the top, we see that the most surprising category was 20th century Austrian people. Now that's not a very good trivia fact. It doesn't sound very interesting. However, if we look further down the list, we see things like women in technology and radio pioneers, and it turns out that Hedy Lamarr, who was a movie actress, in her spare time she invented radio technology, which is still used today in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Now that's an interesting trivia fact. So what's the intuition here? The intuition here that trivia worthiness is not only surprise, it's surprise against some stereotype. So when we think of radio pioneers, inventors, we usually think of some geek in a white lab coat, and when Hedy Lamarr, who is a movie actress, comes along and she breaks that stereotype, that's a good trivia fact. So how do we formalize this notion of a stereotype? So we define it as cohesiveness. Basically it means how cohesive this category is as a group. So cohesiveness will simply be the average similarity between all pairs of articles and that category that defines our expectation, our stereotype of that category. So that will be simply an average between all pairs. So let's give an intuition to an example. So our example, again, will be Barack Obama. So we see two graphs here. On the left, we see the graph of Democratic Party presidents. So every node is a Wikipedia article. Barack Obama is in the center of the graph, and on the perimeter we have other Democratic Party presidents. And the width of an edge between two nodes will be the similarity between these two articles. So if we look on articles on the perimeter, we see that the lines between them, the edges between them, are pretty thick because US Democratic Party presidents are pretty similar to one another. If we look at edges going from Barack Obama towards the perimeter, we see they are also very thick. And why is that? It's because the Democratic Party presidents are politicians and they're very similar to one another. And Barack Obama is also a typical article in this category. He's a typical politician, so they have about the same similarity as the other articles have amongst themselves. Now let's look on the right, and we see Grammy Award winners. So again, in the center we have Barack Obama, and we have other Grammy Award winners on the perimeter. Here we see that the width of edges on the perimeter is pretty thick, but the width of edges going from Barack Obama towards the perimeter is much thinner. And why is that? It's because Grammy Award winners are usually musicians. And Barack Obama is a politician. He's not a musician, so he's less similar to other articles in the category than they are amongst themselves. So we do this for every category, and we rank them by how the ratio between edges going from the center towards the perimeter to the width of edges on the perimeter. And indeed, we see that Grammy Award winners is the most trivia-worthy category. All right, so how do we evaluate this? There's no clear ground truth. So we use as a baseline Wikipedia Trivia Miner, which is a supervised learning algorithm of Wikipedia sentences, which was presented in HCI 15. And from our algorithm, we take the top, median, and bottom category as ranked by our algorithm. So we get 4 trivia facts for every article. So for Barack Obama, for example, our top fact is that he's a Grammy Award winner. A median fact is that he's an African-American lawyer, which is pretty well known. And the most obvious fact is that he comes from the Obama family. And the Wikipedia Trivia Miner found that the most interesting fact is that Obama speaks some Indonesian. We created a data set of several hundred Wikipedia articles about a diverse range of popular people. And for each one of them, we get 4 facts. And we conduct 2 studies, one in the lab and one in the wild. So the first experiment we did was an evaluation study where we basically went to Amazon Mechanical Turk and we asked users several questions about facts, and we wanted their opinions. So for every fact, we wanted to know how trivia-worthy it is, whether it's surprising, and whether the user previously knew this fact. Our second study was an engagement study. We wanted to measure whether trivia facts manage to capture users' attention and engagement. So our hypothesis was that the better the trivia fact is, the more engaging it will be to users. So we bought ads for our entities, and when users looked for these entities on these people on search engines, they were shown ads. And when they clicked the ads, they were taken to a Wikipedia mirror we set up. And they saw one of the facts highlighted, and they could choose to read more on this fact, to look for more other facts. And we measured the time the users spent on site. Again, our hypothesis was that the better the trivia fact is, the more engaging it will be to users, and they will spend more time. So here are the results for the first experiment, where we asked users whether it was a good trivia fact, and we see that our algorithm on the left achieved better results than all other baselines, where users thought it was indeed a good trivia fact, and we saw similar results for surprise and for prior knowledge of this fact. Our second study, we achieved a lower 5-second bounce rate than other baselines, and we saw a higher average time spent on site. So to conclude, our algorithm manages to detect good trivia. We introduced several formulations for sets of documents, including what it means to be surprising and to be cohesive. We achieved better quality results than the baseline, and we've shown that trivia does indeed increase user engagement. Thank you.